Now, this week in South Africa, we got, of course, key major events. I want to look into our economy, and this is the Consumer Price Index, which measures the inflation in the country. We also got the interest rate decision. Last week we also received the GDP figures for quarter two, which showed obviously that South Africa's economy in Q2 grew by 0.8%, which was higher than the 0.5% which so many analysts were expecting. Now, before we dig deep onto the interest rate decision and the CPI that came this week, welcome here to another awesome video, my dear friends. If you are new, please like this video, please subscribe, because all day, every day, you will know that I do my best to give you the latest developments around South Africa, especially looking at the economy and also the investing side of South Africa. That is where we cover stocks listed in the JSE and so forth. So if you are new, please like, please subscribe, and let's get down into business. And those that have been subscribing, liking, I appreciate. I'll keep them coming, right? So this week, of course, like I said, we got the CPI figures and the interest rate decision, or followed by the interest rate decision. CPI figures came on Wednesday, right? Which is where we saw a sit on the screen that obviously the inflation in South Africa came down to 3.3% in August, which was coming from 3.5% in July, right? So the cost of living, or this inflation figure, which measures the cost of living, it came down to 3.3%, which this, my dear friends, it's a good thing, right? You will know that the SA Reserve Bank a target on inflation in South Africa has always been between 3% and 6%. And knowing that South Africa's inflation figures are towards the lower side of the guidance from the SA Reserve Bank, it's obviously good, right? There was a point in time, 2022, where we saw our local inflation going up to obviously 7.8%, which was not good, and that led into the SA Reserve Bank aggressively increasing interest rates. Now, this CPI, right, or Consumer Price Index, it is the figure that measures the cost of living, right? When you hear people, I'm sure you have heard this statement quite a number of times. The cost of living is too high. The cost of living is too high. It is also coming from these figures, right? Because the higher this figure goes, it means that the higher the prices of the products that we use on a day-to-day are also growing. So CPI going up, it does impact your food prices, your other services prices, which is something that is not good, right? So seeing it this low, it means that, of course, we'll probably see or continue seeing things remaining at ease for a bit. Do you remember that there was a point in time where we were pouring petrol by around 25, 26 rands? It was because of the oil pressures went up, which obviously that also triggers inflation, because the prices of food that we use on a day-to-day basis are taken to those retail shops that we buy this food from by trucks. And though you know that petrol comes from oil, if oil prices go up, petrol prices will go up. When petrol prices go up, food prices will also go up, which this is what of course ends up leading into high CPI figures or high inflation, which, like I said, the good thing is that on Wednesday we saw that South Africa's inflation figure, or this figure, came in very low, right? Which is very, very good. Now, on Thursday, the SA Reserve Bank came and announced their interest rate decision. And you will know that with interest rate decision, how the SA Reserve Bank decide if whether they should raise interest rates, keep them where they are, or drop, it depends on them, of course, CPI, the cost of living. If the cost of living is high, then they will also increase interest rates to try to curb or to bring down the consumer price index, or the CPI, or to bring inflation down. Now, because obviously things are good in terms of the CPI, One of the things, or one of the main things that made the SA Reserve Bank to not decrease interest rates, it is because of the political tensions or global tensions, and that is the tariffs that the US has been hitting countries all over the world. This simply means that, of course, now what we are going to see is this is going to obviously trigger inflation, right? This has got tariffs do trigger inflation. If there's one thing that, of course, made the SA Reserve Bank or the governor, Mr. Kganyago, not to feel comfortable dropping interest rates was one of the key. But the good thing is that when you look into the economical figures of South Africa, things are not that bad, right? Things are not as bad because Q2, our economy grew by 0.8%, more than the 0.5% which was expected. CPI for August came at 3.3%. Interest rate decision, the SA Reserve Bank kept it at prime lending of 7% and kept the repo rate at 7% with the prime lending at 10.5%, which is something that, of course, is because of what I just explained to you right now. This is because of Trump, of course, tariffs onto countries like ourselves, South Africa. We never know what or where this will end or where this will be headed. We don't know if South Africa is going to I know South Africa has said that they're not going to throw tariffs onto the US, as of course also making them test their own medicine. But we never really know what will happen in the future, right? But we are thankful that at least interest rates is still at, or prime is still at 10.5%. Hopefully, there's still going to be more rate cuts coming. In fact, there are analysts that are already seeing more rate cuts in the near future, which is something that is good, and we would like to see that, because you know that with interest rates rising, your repayments on your loan, whether your mortgages or home loans, car loans, you will get to feel the pain. If interest rates rises and your interest rate for your loan it's linked to the SA Reserve Bank's repo rate, then that is going to most definitely have an impact into the repayment amounts that you put or that gets debited on your account. So yeah, man, I just thought I'd quickly come and give you these updates. Tell me what you think. Blue sky is coming, long term will win. Those that are persevering throughout the headwinds of the share price. So yeah, man, I remain long. So yeah, man, like this video, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because it takes me some time to make videos like this. But anyways, I'll see you on the next one. That is all from me, and God bless you all.